So I ordered a taxi in Kigali, and we got a beautiful EV car. I think a very modern EV car that came to our apartment to pick us up, me and my boy. And the one thing that you have to know in Kigali that they use a meter to charge you based on the kilometers you drive on. So this guy, thinking that we are foreigners, asked us if you want to go off trip, and then he was trying to charge us about 25,000 Rwandan franc.
7766. 776.
That's almost like talking about very 200 Ghana.
So what you saw was him trying to negotiate with us, but we didn't want to have it. And then we decided to do the app trip. By the way, they don't have Bolt or any Ubers in Rwanda. They have Yego Taxi, and they have Move. I think Move is from South Africa. So this one is from Move. We were heading to Kigali Heights, one of the shopping centers in the city of Rwanda. Yeah, so it's not like Ghana that you have to use the app to order the trip. In Kigali, you have to make a phone call and then designate a driver to come and pick you up at your destination, which I feel like is very tedious and is very archaic and it's not really modern. That is one of the things I feel like they need to do better on. Yeah, getting away around in Rwanda is very difficult unless you want to use motor taxis or you want to hire a car or rent a car by yourself with a driver. And another thing is how Rwandese and people in the city and the whole of Rwanda respect zebra crosses. And look at these motor taxis. Everybody on the motor is with a helmet. The passenger and the rider is always on high alert for safety. That is something that is very commendable and flexible for the Rwandese people. I think they respect rules. I don't know if this is a culture shock, but in Rwanda, they don't joke with their streets, the pavements, their human walkways. And you can see that people really, really respect the rules and the regulations everywhere that's supposed to be, followed. Because when you go to town and you see a human trying to cross on a zebra crossing, whatever is, even if you're one person, the driver is going to stop for you. Whereas in Accra, nobody's going to mind you. It's like we are busy, we are always in a hurry. Rwandan people are so patient people. You hardly hear people honk. And even if a car is moving and there's a car behind, you hardly hear people honk and give you pressure. And another fascinating thing and very, impressive thing about them is how they are also very neat and very clean, because even the citizens know that they are supposed to not litter in the city. And so even if you see that there's a portion that you're walking, it's not all that may be paved, they're still not going to put like rubbish or damp rubbish, anything of that sort there. So like the title they have, the cleanest city in Africa or the Singapore of Africa, well, that is true. Because I remember when me and Rika went out with sneakers, he told me at the apartment that, yo, I can't even wash my sneakers in Rwanda. I don't even have to wash it because it looks so clean. It's always nice. It's like there's no dirt. I was like, yes, the country is just as peaceful as you can think. It is super, 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 super peaceful. And when you come to Rwanda, when you come to Kigali, the city, it's a very small place, but because it's a city or a country of 1,000 hills, their roads are not straightforward. You have to be in tangles, like it goes in circles. You know how they make roads in a mountainous area. You have to go around it. So if you're traveling maybe like a 5-kilometer journey, you have to do like maybe 15 or 10-kilometer just to get to that point, because you can see that this place is just straightforward, but because it's a very mountainous area, you have to go round and round and round and round before you get there. But in all, even at our apartment, we could see the whole of Kigali city. It's a very small city. Again, I can compare Kigali to maybe the whole of Medina and Adenta plus maybe Hacho and its environs. But if you put Accra and Kigali on the scale, Accra is way, 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 way bigger on the scale. Yes. So at this point, I mean, we got late, and yes. So, and what another thing is, the drivers are very polite. Even in as much as we thought this guy wanted to cheat us, they are very polite. They are very respectful people, and they don't talk too much. You know, in Ghana, when you pick a boat or like Yango, these guys just be chatting and talking too much. If you know, if you even if you don't want to talk, in here, Vika is always praising them. Yes. So at this point, we were almost close to our destination, which is Kigali Heights. And let me tell you, Rwanda is super lit. When I say super lit, everywhere had a street light. Every corner was lit. You could be walking at 2 a.m. and you wouldn't even care about like walking in the darkness for somebody to come and do something to you. Everywhere was on fire. And the police in this country, I mean, they are so visible. I think in Ghana they have this thing they call police visibility or whatever. In Rwanda, there are police everywhere, but they are not very harmful. They have their guns and they are there to protect citizens. So at this point, we just got to Kigali Heights. It is a shopping center in, I think, the center of Kigali, and it was officially inaugurated by Paul Kagame in 2016. Yes, it's a very beautiful edifice, a very beautiful shopping center. But I think overall, I think Rwandan shopping malls are very quiet. They are not really loud. I think the patronage is not that vibrant. Even though it was a festive season, you didn't see a lot of people in the shopping mall. And this case, we met them at the Kigali Heights. They were so excited seeing us, and then they actually asked for my YouTube channel that they wanted to follow because they wanted to catch up on whatever that we were doing at the shopping center. Yes, so this Kigali Heights, I mean, they have quite a few shops, and behind it is also, I think, Radisson Blue Hotel. At this point, I was showing this case my YouTube channel, JK Oduko. Subscribe to my channel right now, and make sure you watch the video, you like it, and you comment. Yeah. So generally, and like I always say, Rwanda is a very serene place. It's a very quiet place. It's very organized. Everybody here looks like it's like people are always being serious about whatever they're doing. So it's not really a chaotic country. Kigali is almost like a city, a beautiful city, but way 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 like calm. I think that's why they say the Singapore of Africa, because in Singapore the whole country, the train system is underground. So when you are actually in the city and you are walking in the main cities, the main roads and the pavements, you probably not see a lot of people because most people use the underground trains and all that. Yes, so at this point we wanted to get like ATM to actually withdraw money in Rwandan franc, and we went upstairs. I think is Kigali Heights is about maybe 4-story or 5-story. We went to the first floor to see if we could find an ATM machine, and my full rating about this place is it's a very beautiful mall. I mean, if you compare their malls to the ones in West Africa like Ghana, Accra, they are fairly small. Their malls are very small. They don't have a lot of shopping malls in this country, and the ones that they have are not highly patronaged. Like, it's not with a lot of numbers. Like, you go to Accra Mall, you see a huge numbers. And then again, you realize that, I mean, population wise, Ghana is a bit, maybe almost 3 times their population. So it makes sense that their shopping centers are not always so busy. Yes, this is Bank of Rwandan ATM. It didn't actually work with my bank in Ghana. And that's one thing Africa has to work on, the interbanking issues in Africa. Sometimes when you travel in Africa, it's very difficult to use your local banks, So it didn't actually work. And then we had to go to one of their biggest retail shops in Rwanda. It's called Simba. is downstairs. Yes, we went to buy food stuff and groceries. So we decided that we are going to use the Visa, the card, my card, to pay for the goods and services. Yeah, because we realized that we couldn't get cash at the ATM machine. Yes, that's Simba. Simba is one of the biggest shopping centers in Kigali. It's like let's say ShopRite or Malcolm, something like it's everywhere. I mean, they have almost the small ones, the big ones. It's 100% more like Malcolm or let's say ShopRite. I even say Malcolm because Malcolm is spread across Ghana, Accra. Is in every region. Is in every corner of Ghana, and they have most products. And most products that are in these shops, especially the one edible ones, are actually made in Rwanda, which is very remarkable. So I think they consume a lot of stuff made here. You know, it's a landlocked country, so the importation comes from outside the country, which makes it a bit of a tedious job. So I think in this country, they actually follow up on they do a lot of their own stuff. They are they eat their own products like milk, like um meat, like their fruit juice. Like yes, Yanj is one of the most popular beverage companies in Rwanda. They make water, they make milk, they produce the apple juice, they produce almost all the beverages. And I think is a state owned, or maybe if I'm wrong, but I don't know. Someone also told me that it was the first lady has a lot of shares in Yanj, the beverage company. I mean, they produce almost every shop that you go, they sell Yanj. It's like everybody has to use Yanj. It's not compulsory though, but it's the most popular one because Rwandans are so used to Yanj because it's actually made in their country. Yes, and so this is Simba. At this point, we wanted to get some stuff to go and make a meal at the apartment, and yeah, very friendly people. It's like they are not camera shy. At some point, some of even the workers were asked us to shoot them. They wanted to, as they wanted to be in the video, and which was very 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 remarkable and very very nice, and it was so welcoming, very nice people. And also, I think another barrier is language. Most people can't speak English. Most people always focus to speak on the Kianda. I think like even people like know how to speak English, but they are so much in love with their language that it's very hard for them to even flow fluent in English. So if you're coming to Rwanda, Kigali, you make sure that you are good with signs, you are good with being patient. Like you have to be patient talking to them because you need to let them understand what you really want. And I think that is it. We're just taking our time to buy our few groceries and then shop at this beautiful grocery shop, Simba. And I'm sure you can visibly see that everybody is holding a paper bag because plastics are completely banned in Kigali and the whole of Rwanda. So everything you have to be bagged in a paper um, bag. Yes, for you is like that's the only thing they have to offer, and no plastics, which is very good for the environment. But I remember when we got to Rwanda, we realized that the air quality index was so good, like it was so good compared to the one in Accra. Accra is just crazy, man. I mean, the whole place has a very bad air quality, but in Rwanda, the ecosystem is incredibly very well, and they are more moving to the motorbikes with EV motorbikes, even EV cars. I think they are gradually fading out the combustion engines and making way for EV cars because they are everywhere. Even their motorbikes. There's a company called Spiro that is very big in Rwanda, and they are more or less like only focus on EV bikes, which now you can see everywhere. Everybody's riding an EV bike. So that's why we saw us with paper bags and not polythene or rubber bags. So you can see the reason why we buy most of our stuff from Swimba because in Kigali you don't find a lot of vendors on the roadside. They don't allow it. So it's either you buy from the shop or maybe like a small shop, which is like a physical shop. But in Accra, in Ghana, you can actually buy from anywhere. The roadside, the street, people are selling everywhere on the pavement, everywhere. But in Kigali, because the country is so organized to the point that they don't allow these things. And that is why it's making the place very attractive, very beautiful, very neat, very clean. This is the system that we need to build in Ghana. I'm not saying that people who sell in the streets should be taken away from Accra or something, but I feel like we need to find a way to make sure that these people are off the streets, because if you are receiving such huge numbers of tourists in your country and you're not able to take off your environment, that's also very bad. But Kigali has done that very well. So you hardly find street vendors. You can see people with pans on their head trying to sell their food stuff and their food product, but you hardly see people go or break the rule to have like a vendor shop on the pavement or on the roadside. That's why we stayed in December for so long, to buy everything that we needed for the apartment. Yeah, so we at the checkout point, we are the cashier point to make payment, and at this point we know we didn't have cash, but we knew that their POS machines was going to accept our bank card. Yes, the Visa. Yes, Visa bank card. So at this point, I mean, they were doing the tabulation and then putting everything together so that we could make payment with a Visa card. So if you're traveling with that money, it's fine. You can just put the money in your bank card, and then when you come here, you can use it to do your normal shopping, and even pay for Ubers, and then pay for. They don't have Ubers, they have Move, but you actually use your Visa card to pay for it. I think everything got to the total of about 60 something thousand, which was gonna be like 60. The total was about 24,000 Rwandan franc, which was about 174 Ghana cities, or almost 180 Ghana cities equivalent. Yes. At this point, we were done, and then we were headed back to the EcoBank ATM. That one we thought it was going to work, and actually work. We were able to take some cash, and then hooray! Now we have some Rwandan franc. I think we got about 100,000 Rwandan franc, and I think I went back to do another transaction because I was so happy that finally the ATM was corresponding with the foreign ATM machine was corresponding with my local bank. So I did another transaction, and hooray, it also went through. Yeah. So we were done. We were done at Simba. We were done at Kigali Heights, and then we were heading back home. And Mr. Augustine, our driver, was very kind. He was a very nice man, a noble man. And he charged us at a fair price of about 12K to go to our apartment, which was River Row near Nyanza. Yes. So we were heading there. I think Kigali comes to life in the night. They don't, even most of the shops don't actually close early. Some of the shops that will be closed at 5 p.m. in Ghana or 6 p.m. Probably come here 9 p.m. and 10 p.m. their shops are still open. Yes, it's very, very interesting. Yes. So it was about maybe 20 minutes to the apartment because of small traffic on the road back to the apartment, which we were a bit of outskirts. We weren't so much in the city center. We were about 20 minutes from everything, but it was a very beautiful location, very serene, very nice. So we enjoyed it. We loved it. Yes. Tell you about the street light and how late Kigali is. Everywhere is super late. Even look at us. Look at us driving back to the apartment. Then look at the roads, the network. The road network is so nice. Their roads are so good. Everywhere is marked. The road markings are very visible. Charlie, Kigali is highly an organized city, and I hope that when I come back in maybe a year or another few months, I hope that things are going to be way, way, way better even than I'm seeing right now. And just look at those Christmas decorations. They actually took the whole city deco for the festive season to another level. It is beautiful to see that this is another African country It is not Europe. It is not Americas. It's not like Asia. This is Africa. This is our own continent, growing abundantly well, growing at speed, and becoming one of the most beautiful countries in the world. We stop on the way to get. I think wanted to get some bottles of water, and then Yanch, the most popular beverage drink in the country. They make apple juice, they make mangoes, mixed fruit, everything. Yeah, so we went to a local shop. Like I said, hardly find like container shops here. Is a concrete and maybe block shops. Those are the ones that are very popular. But you won't even find the container shops here. Yes, that's how organized the city is, and they make the best samosas. They make the best, um, pastries. That's what I wanted to say. Yes, yeah. So at this point, we are almost close to the apartment. We decided to get some few bottles for me and my boy Vika. I should go make dinner and then pass the night. Yes. And so make sure you subscribe to my channel, J to the K to the O D U K O. Like, subscribe, comment, and share. See you guys in our next episode in Kigali. James.